It's the MacCast with Susan and Dave, and we're competing for your love.
Please,
Oh!
you know I win anyway. Check us out. We're putting community back in commerce. Hi, welcome back to MacCast. My name is Susan Bond. I am a proud Board of Directors member for the Murray Area Chamber of Commerce. And this is my partner in crime, Dave Hansen, also on the Board of Directors.
Thank you so much, Susan. We are so excited to have today one of our industry leaders in the Murray Chamber area, Mr. Don Taylor.
Thank you.
With Don Taylor Designs. Don, thank you so much for coming out for our podcast today. And we are so excited to hear all about you. And I want to start out with this. This is you. This is Don Taylor Designs.
Pretty much.
Fantastic. So tell us what you do, and then I want you to explain this to our audience. This is really, really cool.
Well, what I do is I help small brands to look bigger, I don't just do design for them, I do the whole branding, so it'd be experiential, website, logo, help them find who their audience is, because my background is I was working before with million-dollar international companies, so I'm like, why can't I bring it to smaller companies, make them look like million-dollar international companies.
Exactly.
To really help them to, get on shelves or get off shelves and really expand their audience and help them to become very productive and work them so they can be happy with what they want. And what's going on with this is it's kind of a timeline of me. It's a personal timeline of all the things I've done, places I've lived, and different product sectors that I've helped along the way. So it just kind of encompasses everything that Don Taylor Designs has done and hopefully we'll continue to do.
So the detail in your designs are phenomenal.
Oh,
so that's one thing I really, really appreciate about what you do. But I know that there's some other campaigns that you've helped. You work with a wide variety of clientele. So you have the big companies, you have the smaller companies. There are some things where sometimes they come to you and they're like, okay, I'm on a budget. What can I do? And I saw some amazing examples of that in your work. And
thank you.
So
This is, we have one of those here.
Yep.
This is a great example of what you were talking about, where you were able to make a great design at an affordable price, it sounds
Exactly.
like.
So what we did with this one here is they came to us and they wanted to, it's a 20-year-old roaster company out east, and they wanted to come together and, rebrand themselves because they're right next to a college. They just weren't hip. They weren't cool. So they wanted to kind of come together and see what we could do to help them. But they wanted to keep it down, the budget down. So what we came up with these designs, and pretty much everything you see here is a stamp. So all they need is a basic paper bag or just the craft for the coffee, and just stamp on it and put it out there on the shelves, and off it goes. And it just keeps all the production costs down, because that's one of the things that really cripple a lot of companies when they're starting off is the production of just because they need to have a high level of products to go out, that they have to hit a certain quantity before most printers will even think about doing it.
Yeah.
So this allows it so that they don't have to, that they can just get their materials and kind of almost do it in a crafts-like kind of way, so it keeps it cheap, but it also allows it to be, it works for their audience, because millennials really do like to, have that kind of craft sense and make it themselves, so it really works together.
I'm probably the least artistic person ever.
I don't know. I might be backing you on that
Wait
one.
a second. I just want to get this straight. Is they take a plastic bag and they just
Or paper bag, yeah.
boom, and then it's all of a sudden theirs. They do the same with the coffee cup. All these things.
Yep, they're all individual stamps that they just put on a black marker, black pad, put it on, and then stamp and go.
That's fantastic.
Isn't that amazing?
So
and
cool.
the thing that I really love, and again, the mission of our MacCast is to put community back in commerce. We want to show that there are things like this available. A lot of people have no clue that you can get things done like this.
Yeah.
And again, Don Taylor Designs is just another resource.
Right.
But that's what makes us so excited. When I saw that you could put things together like this for our members and for people in the community, that's just awesome.
That's way cool. Yeah.
It's one of the interesting things to really try to do for them, is because, like I said, I want to make them look like they're million-dollar brands, but they all have small budgets. So what can you do to make them look that good? And sometimes it's a creative little way to just kind of manipulate it so that it looks that way, and it keeps their costs down until they can be big enough that they just have to send it off to a printer to.
I would think on a side note as well, the employees here, if they want a tattoo of sorts, they just I mean, serious. This is
That'd be kind of fun.
beautiful job.
There we go. Yeah. I am dedicated to my mission.
It's perfect. Okay. Oh, sorry.
Oh, no. I was going to say, too, about this one, actually, going into Made in Utah. you were explaining there were some really neat things. Well, and again, the detail in your designs, and they're
it's-
very meaningful
Yes.
details. But this one, you were saying how it really helped the clientele and the ticket sales for the events.
It did. I was contacted by these guys through a second party, and they've been around for a while. This is actually their 5th year, but a lot of people hadn't heard about them too often, and so they were struggling to find their audience. So between me and a local marketer, we came up with a whole new branding system and marketing system, and they went from, we pretty much got their revenue to go up by 300%, and we more than doubled their audience that went to the event. So it really kind of brought it up, and these were put out in restaurants and bars, and we did the bright colors to stand up against everything, so that people would see it and it felt vibrant and alive, and it showed everything that was going on and all the little pieces that are all the little things that are Utah. The beehive.
You got the
and
beehive.
Yeah.
You've got a seagull.
Yep.
The train for the golden spike.
We've got the cutthroat trout over on the side there.
See,
So
and that's really what sets Don Taylor Designs apart, from what I've seen, is the specific little details, how you incorporate the vision and the passion of whomever you're creating the logo for.
right. Well, one of the things that I'm not just creating the logo for the person. What I really try to do is I try to create all the marketing material for the audience, not necessarily for the person I'm doing it for, because I need to get the audience to be responsive to it, and I need to get them to be reactive and to be a part of it. And if they're not, then it doesn't work. And oftentimes small little brands think that I need to have it catered to me. But no, it needs to be catered to your audience, so that
Absolutely. You got to teach the people who you're trying to reach how to pay you
No.
and get them excited to do that. I love that's huge.
This is one of my favorite things here.
Absolutely.
This is when we're talking with the Murray Chamber, which you're a part of, and which we're grateful to have you here. This is one of our things that we're doing. The 10-4 responding. It's going to become a national
Brand, yeah,
brand.
the whole movement.
Everybody's getting together for veterans and first responders. You designed this.
yes.
This is fantastic.
Well, thank you very much.
Can you give us a little insight into this real quick?
Well, when Nanzel and Melissa came to me, but they're part of the chamber, they were telling me about it. They didn't have a name for it, but one of the things they were telling me about it, and I was getting excited. I'm like, okay, so we need to have something. We need first to name it. So it needs to be a name that's going to stick to people's heads, but also say who it's for. So we came up with, after a few different iterations, 10-4 in responding, which really, all clear.
I understand
we
you.
understand.
Yeah.
We need to respond, and then they're like, okay, now we need the logo for it. So I'm like, doing the research. I'm like, okay, so we need to have it be a badge, because every first responder has a badge in some way or another. So this helps to get people to understand who it's for and what it's going for, and then all the little pieces of it, like the lantern, light through the darkness, which when you're trying to deal with suicide, the little pips around each one is 21, because each one is a purple is 21 because a veteran commits suicide.
Yeah.
There's that number for it, and the whole thing just kind of tied together so that we had the whole thing. So it was just iconic, and it was full of symbolism, and really helped the whole thing together. And using the purple and the teal, which you see because those are the national suicide awareness colors. So it just kind of honed the whole thing together. So
See, and you create, you put the movement all together and all those little things. And again, you took something that it's a challenging topic. It's what we're working on, but you gave it a bright spot. I love the lantern. I love the idea of it's the subtle reminders, but the focus forward. And it's just, to me, it is very evidentiary of Don Taylor Designs. It just really is.
Yeah, thank you. This is just awesome. And then we're back to the design again. All the cool mountains. I love the sun is rising, the moon is up. It's just so much in depth. And it's just great to get to know you, get to know your platform, the things that you do, your community involvement. Thank you.
well, thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
So that brings us to the end of another MacCast. We're so grateful. Well, there we come back. We're so grateful to have Don Taylor here with all your designs. Thank you for the things that you do. And if you are interested in learning more about Dawn Taylor, please visit us at themurraychamber.org.
And if you want to know more about how to be on one of these podcasts with us, because we're a lot of fun, I promise. And we really want to help bring greater ideas to the community, let you know what the resources are available to you. The free resources with the Chamber are absolutely outstanding, as well as the amazing additional resources you can have as a member. So again, just check us out at murraychamber.org. And until then, we look forward to you tuning in next time. And until then, keep making good things happen.
Thanks so much.
Do you ever feel like you just need some support to get really healthy? Hi, I'm Scott Mitchell.
And I'm Melanie Douglas.
I'm on a journey to find lasting health in my everyday life.
And I'm here to help. We'll find fun, doable ways to improve your health through small and simple changes.
It's the Really Healthy Podcast. Subscribe for free on iTunes or the KSL News Radio app.